So now, let's move on to the Islamic law of inheritance. To understand the Islamic law of inheritance as a whole, it is necessary to understand the law of inheritance or the system of inheritance that was in place in the Arabian Peninsula before the advent of Islam. Now, basically, in the old customary ways, only the males in the society were entitled to inherit properties. So when Islam came in, Islam provided laws of inheritance that included women and daughters into benefiting or getting shares in inheritance. For those of you out there that already know, according to Islam, a man gets twice the share of a woman when it comes to inheritance. Is that actually fair? A man is getting twice as much as what a woman gets. Before we go further, I would like to state it here that that rule is not true across all boards, because sometimes women and men, according to Islamic law of inheritance, can get equal share of inheritance. Now, an example of such situation is when a deceased dies and is survived by his father and mother. So both father and mother would get 1/6 of the deceased child's inheritance. It's also worth noting that if a person dies and he leaves behind 2 daughters, that is, no sons at all, 2/3 of the inheritance will be given to the daughters. And if the person that has died left behind just 1 daughter, then the daughter gets half of the inheritance. Also, share of the widow is 1/4 if the widow has no child for the deceased. And let's say the widow actually has a child or children for the deceased, then a share of his inheritance is 1/8. But moving back to, a man getting twice as much as what a female gets. In the old days, it's a male-dominated society. So why should women who were considered, in quotes, the weaker sex as at then, getting half of the properties when it's actually, should I say, a man's world? They are the stronger sex, and they are considered more powerful. So why are they getting more of the properties than the women? Well, according to Islamic scholars, their argument was that the men have more responsibilities when compared to the women. The men need to take care of expenses for themselves. They need to take care of expenses on their wives. They need to take care of expenses on their children. They need to take care of expenses they incur during war. Because let's say, for example, a man is going to go to war. He is the one that is going to bear his own expenses while going to war. Another thing is that the man would also need to pay, let's say, a member of his family accidentally injures someone from another family. So he needs to pay the other family a compensation for the loss or for any injury caused to the victim. So a lot of Islamic scholars also emphasize the fact that a man must pay a dowry on a woman. So that is, before a man can marry, he pays a dowry. So a man getting twice as much as what a woman gets, it's like a compensation for what he actually lost while paying the dowry. So Islam's position on inheritance, according to Islamic scholars, is actually more beneficial to the women. They believe women tend to benefit more in terms of inheritance than the men. And their argument is based on the fact that a lot of responsibilities are placed on the man. The cost of living, of himself, his wife, his children, and also other members of his family are actually on his shoulders. So from my research, I found out that women don't actually need to cater for any responsibility under Islam. So that is, even if a woman is rich, she got some, shares of inheritance, probably from her father before she got married, and so she doesn't need to spend any part of that wealth on her family. So it's the husband's duty to make sure he caters for her, and she can only decide to help the family if she so wishes, which is actually quite interesting. Let me summarize all this together now. In Islam, inheritance is divided based on the needs and responsibilities of people. So, for example, the first thing is dowry. A man is religiously responsible to allot an amount of money as dowry to his wife. Also, allowance. In family life, the man must cater for himself, his wife, and his children. He must bear all the expenses on her. And like I said earlier, even if his wife is rich, she is not obliged to take up any responsibility within the family. The man has to cater for everyone in the family, whether his wife is rich or not. Another thing is the special responsibilities of a man. These are responsibilities that women are excluded from. For example, warfare in the path of Allah, or when someone is accidentally killed by another person, then the man has to pay the family of the victim's money. But women are excluded from all this. So which begs the question, what do women actually do with the wealth which, they've already gotten? Either it's before marriage or after marriage. Well, according to Islamic scholars, the dowry and inheritance of a woman is like a savings for her future. So in the case she separates from her husband or her husband dies, she can lead a comfortable life and her future is guaranteed. In conclusion, we've run through the customary law of inheritance, the Christian law on inheritance, and the Islamic law of inheritance. And we can see that based on the two religions, they actually make provisions for widows to be catered for, and they are able to actually get a portion of inheritance from their deceased husband. Having said that, you find out that the Sultan actually has a point when he said that the gender equality bill violates the Muslim way of life. But where I actually have a problem with what he said is that he actually has a problem with some section of the bill, not with the bill in totality. So instead of him telling Muslims to actually reject the gender equality bill, he's supposed to call for probably some amendments of some parts of the bill. Now, I know some of you don't agree with me. Some I believe we should have no religion when it comes to sharing of inheritance. Islam is their way of life of Muslims. Then, of course, they are entitled to live their lives the way they want and to follow the Islamic laws that have been laid down for them. And also, if Christianity is a way of life for Christians, then they are also entitled to follow the laws laid down in the scriptures. Instead of calling for the rejection of the bill, he should actually call for amendment on some parts that violates his beliefs. So, I would like to round up this episode by reading a result gotten from a study from an article, Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women and Girls in Nigeria, the Way Forward to National Security. Now, this article is actually written by Adams Oluwadami Lola and Olajumoke Ganiat Jenyo from National Defense College, Abuja. Now, from the study, they concluded that women from the southern part of the country are actually the ones striving and agitating for gender equality. So what the article is trying to say in essence is that women from the northern side of the country are comfortable with the status quo. They are not actually striving for gender equality. I would like to say here that it's important for women to unite and speak with one voice so that gender equality can be achieved.
The Gender Equality Bill is making a second journey through the National Assembly.
Right to fair hearing and right to freedom from discrimination.
The bill suffered a humiliating fate at its first introduction a few months ago, as some male lawmakers were strongly opposed to it, maintaining that enacting a law to accord women equal rights with men is in conflict with the country's religious and cultural beliefs.
The bill further provides that all appropriate measures be taken to eliminate discrimination against women in political and public life, eliminate discrimination against women in education, eliminate discrimination against women in employment, eliminate in occupation or any profession, prevent discrimination against women on the grounds of marriage, marital status, or maternity.
Yes, the Gender Equality Bill has actually passed through the second reading, but if you look at the screen right now, you'll be able to see the stages which the bill has to pass across before the bill is made into law. You can see that we are just on stage 5 now. There's still a lot of processes which the bill needs to go through. So I would like to call on both men and women to come out and support the Gender Equality Bill, because the bill advocates for equal values and opportunities for both genders within the society. And I would like to say this, that if there is no unity in voice, especially with the women, gender equality can never be achieved. It will continue to be an Herculeus tax. Another thing is the Nigerian people can choose to decide whether they want to separate state from religion, because in developed countries that is actually done. They separate the state from religion so that the two don't actually mix together. Well, I'm leaving that up to you guys out there to discuss. Please do feel free to let us know your opinion of this episode in the comment section below. We would like to discuss and interact with you and hear your views. It's been Final Reflection with Morakion. I've been your host, Morakion Dada. Thank you for watching this episode, and we will catch you next time.